Hey folks, we're getting ready for another segment here, Mountain Fun Life page, DDX Studios for Get Married in the Smokies. My name is Ron, your host. We appreciate you for tuning in. This segment, Get Married in the Smokies, is about showcasing the wedding industry, weddings and events in this area. My goal is to showcase the wedding professionals. So if you are a professional who'd like to be on this show, I'd love to have you. Again, we're broadcasting live off of Mountain Fun Life page here from beautiful Pigeon Forge at DDX Studios. So we are about ready to get into our segment. So let's roll that intro. Good afternoon. It's a beautiful rainy day here in Pigeon Forge. We appreciate you for tuning in. Like us on Facebook. It's called Mountain Fun Life. Like that page for a variety of different shows that showcase everything that's going on here and around Sevier County. My name is Ron, your host. This is a segment called Get Married in the Smokies. I want to highlight wedding professionals. I want to educate people and let them know how big weddings and events are here in this area, and hope to do that every week with just a variety of different guests and information. So I hope you'll tune in. I'd love to hear some comments from you, something you'd like to see on the show. But again, thank you so much. A big thank you to DDX Studios. And again, tune in to Mountain Fun Life. The segment today, we're going to couple different topics, but I'd like to introduce to you Eric Gebhardt with New Beginnings Photography. And Eric, how are you?
Good.
Good. Welcome to the show. So, wedding season is definitely upon us.
It's getting real busy. The weather's warming up, so we do a lot of outdoor weddings, so things slow down a little bit in the winter time.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's getting warm and things are getting busy.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about your background first, and how did you start with New Beginnings?
How far back do we want to go? I've always loved photography since I was a kid in high school. And I started photographing weddings when I was about 19 years old.
Okay.
So that would be about 92, I guess.
Okay.
I was in Florida at the time, but I always wanted to move to the Smoky Mountains. We vacationed here when I was a child every year.
Yeah, makes sense.
And when I finally was able to come visit with my family, with my wife and kids, I saw all the weddings that were going on here, and I thought it might be a good move for us. So we made that move and started photographing weddings here. The transition was a little bit difficult because a lot of the chapels and things like that have their own photographers.
Right.
So I was shooting for myself, starting my own business, and I just realized over time the need or how much I enjoyed photographing weddings in the Smokies, in the national park, so I kind of started specializing in that.
Very good. And would you say, about how many weddings and or events do you shoot per year?
I would say about 200 or so.
200. So you stay extremely busy.
Yeah. And that's one good thing about this market compared to where I moved from, is it was a Saturday, Sunday job there, and here it's all during the week, too.
I was going to say, it's 6 to 7 days a week.
Right.
Yeah, especially once you get into the season. I mean, it's definitely busy. Well, that's great. And, you have a good reputation in the area, so that's a plus. So you mentioned something, though, that I want to get into. With your photography of doing weddings and events, but you also mentioned the national park. So we know that here in this area, the Great Smoky Mountains of Tennessee, we've got the Smoky Mountain National Park, which is, by the way, the most visited national park in the United States. One of the reasons for that is because it's a free park to get into. You've got plenty of places for picnics, hiking trails, and so on. And it makes a beautiful backdrop for couples to get married, to where they'll have a minister and or photographer to take that. But with that, though, there are some special requirements.
Right.
So if you're a bride wanting to get married in the park,
there are permits required.
Yes.
They started a permit system in 2008, I believe. And before that, it was just kind of a free-for-all.
Right.
And people would go out there and get married in the most popular spots. Sometimes there would be a line of weddings.
Sure.
So like at a particular waterfall, there might be 3 weddings waiting in line to get up there and say their vows and get their pictures taken.
Right.
So it was starting to disrupt the natural resources of the park.
yes.
So they implemented a permit system. And it's not terribly difficult to navigate.
Right.
There are businesses here that are licensed to do business in the national park. They can get the permit for you. We're one of those businesses.
Okay.
And you can also, brides, couples can get the permit on their own as well.
Right, right. And that's important to know, because especially, you know, if you're coming to this area, you know, you think, oh, we'd like to get married in the park. It's really important to know what you need, that you can't just sneak into the park and let's try this hoping we don't get caught. So what are things that, as someone who's been in this area for a while, you know, people looking to get married in the park, what are a couple tidbits that you can give them that they would need to know ahead of time? What kind of legwork?
So the park wants people to have weddings that are small and don't have a big impact on the area.
Right.
So most locations, they limit it to 20 guests. Some of the indoor locations, like the churches in Cades Cove, Spence Cabin, and the Appalachian Clubhouse, they allow up to 40 or 50 guests.
Right, which in the Spence Cabin, I believe, in the clubhouse, you are allowed amplified sound like a DJ, but that's one of a few places that allow that.
Right, most of the outdoor locations,
Yeah.
they allow sound, but they don't allow, I guess it would just be reasonable sound.
Exactly, exactly, exactly. So now, as someone who has a permit for this, what are the things that you did did you fill out an application process to qualify for that? What did you do?
So you're referring to the license that
Yeah.
I have? Well, a business needs to have a business license in the city and county that they do business in, liability insurance, and a fee, of course, to the national park. And so you turn that application in. It's a 2-year license that you get,
Okay.
and renewed every 2 years.
Awesome. Now, with having that license, have you noticed, has that been like an increase for your business, like your specialty business, because you have that?
Well, when they started this process, a lot of businesses decided not to pursue that
Right.
license. So it did weed out a lot of the smaller businesses. But I believe that since I have that license, people take note of that because they know that we're legally able to go into the national park and provide services.
Awesome, awesome. That's good to know. I mean, that's very important information, especially if you're, again, looking to get married, you know, wanting to know about any officiant or photographer. I do believe that there is a list available to people who are licensed to go into the park, and I'm not sure, is that a courthouse website?
The list that I'm aware of is on the National Park Service
National
website.
Park Service, okay.
So that would be nps.gov/GRSM.
Okay, and so you would go to that website to see the list of wedding professionals who are able to perform their services in the park because they're licensed.
Correct.
Okay.
And they keep that updated. They also have a map of the park, and all of the pre-approved locations where you're allowed to have a wedding
Awesome.
are listed on that map. I believe there's about 45 different locations in the national park that they've pre-approved.
Wow, that's impressive. Now, along with that, though, you also do not strictly weddings, but do you do commercial photography? I've noticed, you know, a couple. I think there was a hotel in Gatlinburg where you have prints that are up in that hotel.
So I enjoy doing all kinds of different
Right,
photography.
right.
Weddings I've done for a long time. I guess probably my first love of photography was landscape and nature photography.
Okay.
So I do a lot of that. I like to make real big prints. I do panoramic prints that are about 8 feet long, and that's what you saw in the hotel.
Right. Okay.
And then there's a lot of work available for hotels, hospitality industry, and entertainment here in the county that I do work for.
Awesome. I mean, it definitely seems like you've got a wide thing that you've grown your business into that has also made you a specialty business. So I know, especially being in a destination area, that's impressive and that helps.
Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot.
Oh, good. If you'd like to get a hold of Eric, his company is New Beginnings Photography. His website is perfectweddingpics.com, and I know the information will scroll at the bottom of the screen. And Eric's been in this area for quite a while, doing photography. He's got a great reputation. So again, check him out. We appreciate you for tuning in to Mountain Fun Life. My name is Ron with Get Married in the Smokies, and we hope that we'll see you again soon. Thank you, Eric, so much.
Thank you for having me.